Hello all, welcome back to Learning Partner. If you are new, please do subscribe. This is another channel where you can directly connect with me. We have around 1000 plus members already who are working. We take live coding sessions and everything. To just get notified about those sessions, please do join this group. So in previous episode of the Angular 19 tutorial, I have explained how do we implement JWT login, what is the use of interceptor, how do we send the token along with the header. This part I have already covered. Again, if you are seeing this video for the first time and if you don't know how to implement login, just pause the previous episode. In some of the previous episode, I have explained how do we implement the login page. This is the episode continued to that. Fine. Now, so in this particular episode, we are going to see how do we refresh that token. So whenever we implement login and whenever we work on a project, so obviously every project, industrial project will have a login page implemented, right? And API will be authenticated. So whenever we log in, we get the token and that token we need to send it to the API along with all the API requests. But there is a catch. That token will be valid for particular some time. So let's say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, according to the project requirement, we set that expiry time. So once that project get expired, after that we need to refresh. We need to ask API for the refresh token also. Fine. So in this video, we are going to see how do we implement the functionality of refresh token, and along with that, how do we implement the error interceptor also. That thing also we will cover. Error interceptor is not something new. This is the same like interceptor, but just a different way. Now, so let me just. So this is the same thing what we are seeing in the admin component. We have integrated this API. In token interceptor, we had this our interceptor where we have cloned our request and we pass our headers, correct? Now in app config, we have registered our interceptor. Now I am going to create one more interceptor. That name I will give it as a error interceptor. So let's open a new terminal. Just a minute. Yeah. So now we have to create new interceptor. ng generate interceptor error. The name I am giving to my interceptor is the error one. Enter. So as I told in the previous episode also, we can create multiple interceptor. So we have created our token interceptor. One more interceptor I am creating, that is for error. Now, so see, this is how your interceptor will work. Now we need to see interceptor is like all the incoming API request will go through this and all the outgoing request also go through this. When we are making an API call, that is outgoing request. When we get the data from the API, that is incoming request. So you need to add a filter on that. So over here, dot pipe, and inside pipe, catch error is the what do we say, operator we need to watch. Inside this error, data type will be http error response arrow function. Now whenever what is this error? Okay, void. Let's complete it first. So whenever your API, whenever let's say you are trying to access any API and that API, whatever the token we are passing, that token doesn't exist or we are not passing the token, you will get 401 unauthorized. So that check only we are going to add it over here. So if error dot status is equal to 401 means unauthorized. So now here we need to write something logic that will refresh our token. Fine. So here we need to create an subject now. So I think we have a service already created. Yeah. So this service we will use. So in this service, I will create a subject and that subject will be like, let's give it a name as token expired or something. Token expired dollar colon. I'm going to create a subject. Why it's not suggesting subject is equal to new, sorry, data type also I missed. Subject, let's say Boolean type of data is equal to new subject and Boolean. So we have created our subject. Now, whenever we are working on an application and suddenly we get 401 means token might be expired. So we will use this subject to emit that. So this subject, we will use it over here And obviously it's we have our subject in customer service, so we need to create instance of that. So it's an arrow function, so we don't have constructor, so we will use inject method. What is it? Customer service is equal to inject. What we are going to inject? Our customer service, like this. Fine. Now over here, cust service dot token expired dot next. We are emitting value true. Fine. But here we will add one more check. You might have seen working in banking application or somewhere application. Whenever our session is going to expire, now we show that message. Are you sure you want to continue your session? So we will show that message also. So let's create over here result. And here we will say uh, is continue. That will make more sense. We will use our confirm box, and here we will show message. Are you sure want to continue? Fine. So if user says yes, we need to make an API call and we need to get the latest token, and we need to again replace that token from the local storage. So is continue if equal to true, then only we will emit this data. Otherwise, we will log out. Fine. So here we need to return, and obviously we need to return the error also. So throw error, and whatever the error we get, this particular error we will return. Still, why we are getting error? What is it saying? We didn't specify the return type or what? Not all code. Okay, if what should we do for if? So this, if we have added it over here, instead of writing return over here, let's move it back after the if statement. Yeah, so see, now error is gone away because it needed that observable return. So this is your normally error handling. If your API call returns 401 status, means you are not authorized. Your token might be expired, or even though you are not passing the token, so then you are emitting this subject. Now this subject we will subscribe. So by default, a particular component will be there. Let's say where we have navbar. So in our case, we have that layout component. So in layout component, we will subscribe to this. So where is our layout component? Yeah, layout component, we will subscribe to this. So let's create constructor over here, because we need this particular component now where we will subscribe it. And once this we emit the subject, we will again call the API to get the refresh token. So let's create constructor. Let me complete everything, then you will be able to understand. So this dot, oh, we need to implement our customer service also over here. Cust service, what we are going to inject? Customer service. Fine. Now in constructor, this dot customer service dot token expired dot subscribe from bracket result colon boolean type of data we are going to get. So let's add a particular data type. And if RES is true, we need to make our API call. Now in customer service, I will create an API call. So in customer service, I will write an API call. So if I show you the API, these are the same API. So here you can see post API is there. So remember, when we log in, we used to get two tokens. One is a token and one is a refresh token. So this you need to send to that other API. Whenever you want the new token, so this is the API, this is the token you want to send along with your post API. See, the refresh token, it needs that refresh token. You need to send the original token also and the refresh token also and the email ID. Then you will get the refresh token. Fine. In my API, these are the parameters I'm using. But if in your project or whenever you start working, it might be something else. But API developer will let you know that what you need to send it over here. Like that, you will send it. Fine. Now, so this API call we need to make on. Let's execute and let's get the URL. So refresh. So in customer service, I will create my API call. Instead of doing it over here now, let's do that in a layout component only. Let's create object of our HTTP client. Anywhere, you can do it anywhere, but just to simplify, I'm doing, because here we are getting like token expired or not. So that's why I'm doing API call over here. HTTP, what we need to inject? HTTP client. Fine. Now, once your token expired, you will make an API call. So this dot HTTP dot post API call. And you need to pass the URL. So let's get the URL. So this is my complete URL. This we need to pass it over here. Then we need to pass the object also. So object, I will create it over here only. Constant obj is equal to curly bracket. Let's get the object field. What field we needed? These are the field. Now we need email ID, token, and the refresh token. So if you check the login component, I think we didn't store the email ID, or we are getting the email ID or not. Let's check that also from login API. Yeah, we are getting email ID and token and the refresh token also. So in login, I think we have stored individual data into local storage. Yeah, so we are storing user ID and this thing. So instead of this, now I will store the complete response. Angular 19 token data. And here I'm passing the whole object instead of this now, or we have the refresh token, or let's store the complete data. Now I need to store the whole object, whatever the object I get from the login API. So for that, I'm converting object into string. So JSON.stringify method I'm using. Fine. Now, once I log in, whole data means email ID, token, refresh token, everything I'm storing into this local storage in this particular key. Now I need to read this data into my admin component over here. Sorry, where is my layout component over here? And here we will say we need to read the local storage data. Logged data is equal to local storage dot, instead of set item, now we have to make use of get item method. Fine. Over here, let's complete. But while storing the data, we are converting into string format. So again, we need to convert it back to the object format. So log user is equal to JSON dot parse method we have to use. And what we need to send? The log data, local storage data, like this. Why it is giving us error? Because we didn't add the null check. So let's add a null check. If log data is there, then only we need to run remaining lines. So all this line, I will move it inside this. Fine. Now over here, logged user will have everything. So from logged user dot, let's check what response we are getting. Email ID we need. Then we need token and refresh token also. Let's copy, let's paste. Token also we will need, and refresh token also I will need. So whatever we have stored into the local storage, that I'm reading, and this object I will pass as a parameter to the refresh API. Then dot subscribe, round bracket, result, colon any. Again, arrow function we need to add. Fine. Now, what do we need to do? Whatever after this API, once we pass the correct data, we will get the token. So that token, again, you need to store it to the local storage. So local storage dot set item, and what you will set, whatever things we have stored in the local storage. Now, it's the same 3 lines I will copy and I will paste it over here. Same thing, whatever we were doing in the login, that same token I will get, refresh token, and that same token I'm storing it to the local storage. Let's save and check. So we have done everything. Still one thing is remaining. Let me just first show you what we have done till now. Now I will, previously I had that login token. Let's check the application. Yeah, I don't have it. First, let me check what is the expiration time user app. This is my API project. Let's check the API time. I think 5 minutes. Oh, okay. I will pause the video. Then we will wait for the 5 minutes. So I will log in now. Where is the user? Angular 19 at the rate. This is the user we created in the previous video. Same I'm using. Password, login, on click of login. So we got the token, and that token we have stored over here. So see, Complete data also we have stored. Now, if you see the network, get all user was success. Now it's 17:51. Now we will wait for 5 seconds, 5 minutes. So let's try to reload the page. If the token was expired, we should get 401 for this API. But let's see if we have added the debugger or not. Let's add a debugger over error interceptor. Wait, why error intercept? Sorry. So we missed to add this error interceptor in our app config, just like we need to do over here, right? So we have added the token interceptor, but we have created one more interceptor now. So that also we need to add like this. Fine. Let's try to reload now. Error interceptor we have got. Yeah, token is still valid. See, 200 we have got. Let's try to reload one more time. So once your API will send that 401, na, we have so many debugger. Let's wait for some more time. Until that time now. So let's say you are on this admin page and if your token got expired, so this API will fail. But after that, once you get the refresh token, again you need to trigger this API. Na? So we can write that logic also. So for that, again, we have to create one more subject saying refresh token. We got the refresh token like that something. So for that, let's see if we got to check that. And refresh token here we have added, and in layout component also we need to add the debugger. Yeah, we had a debugger over here. Let's try reload one more time. Token is expired. Yeah. So now you can see we got status 401 means your token got expired. So, and we are showing that pop-up. Are you sure on to continue or not? We say yes. And it will go to the if statement. We are expiring our subject with the true value. So now here you can see we got the token. Let's check the old token. So old token was having, let's check what was the value. So in the ending, it was something like this. Fine, ns something. Let's try to make the API call. So here you are going to make the API call again. So see now in object, you got the email ID, refresh token and the token. Now once you make the API call, you get the new token. If you see the refresh token now, sorry, see, it is something else. Now we will override our token. But here you can see this API call got 401. So API call didn't happen. After this API call, we again refresh the token. See refresh API. But again, once we got the token, we should again make this API call. Na? So for that, you will create one more observable subject. Sorry. Token received. Anything. Parameter name, you can give it anything. So here we will say dollar colon. I'm just copy pasting now. So once we get the token, after that, whatever the API call we were making, that again we need to trigger. So for that, we will emit this. Once we get the token, we will emit this token dot next, and we will say true over here. And this, sorry, this we will subscribe in the admin component. Where it is, admin component. Customer service object. No, no, sorry, admin. Yeah, admin only. In admin only, we are making that API call na, to get all users. So let's create as private HTTP colon HTTP client. We need to create customer service also because we have a subject over there. Service colon customer. Again, it's like we are doing so many things. If you are new now, it will be little bit hard for you to process all these things. But once you are done with all your basic topic and some advanced topic, then and complete one project at least, then only you will get these things, because these are very project specific change, project related things we are going through. Okay, subscribe result colon boolean, and over here if boolean is true, sorry, res is true, again we need to initiate our API call. I mean this function I will again trigger over here. Fine, let's just check it now. Let's continue. So now I will get the new token. So again, my token is valid for another 5 minutes. So what I will do is, I will just change this token in the local storage like this, or let's delete also. That will also do the same thing. Let's remove everything. And now let's reload. In the layout component, let's add a debugger. Sorry, admin. In admin component, we are subscribing once token received, right? So let's reload. So now you can see we got 401 saying token expired. Fine. Let's continue. Yes, it will go to the layout component where we are subscribing once token expired. Then we will ask for the refresh token. Now we removed everything, right? So if you don't pass the correct object, you won't get the data. Let's log in again. What was that login detail? Because to refresh token also, it's not a simple API. We need to pass the refresh token and the actual token and the email ID also. We deleted everything. So that's why API call didn't make. Fine. Now what we will do, we will just change our token. So this token we are using. Fine. Let's reload now. So now you can see we got 401. Then it will go over here. Yes, we need to refresh. Now here it will read the local storage data. From local storage data, we will get the complete object. See, object we have got, we are able to pass the refresh token and expired also. But since if we continue now, once we get the refresh token, again we got 401. No, 400. Why we got 400? Unauthorized only. Bad request. Why bad request? Because yeah, token not expired. So currently token not expired. So that's why we cannot refresh it, because we just logged in. So token has 5 minutes limit validity. Fine. So the thing is, if you got the refresh token from your layout component, we are emitting this subject, and this subject you are again subscribing to your component. So if this API got failed and again we got the refresh token, we are subscribing to the token received and again we are making this API call. So this API call will again trigger, means one, this will be failed, then you will get the refresh token. Again, you will make the API call to get the latest user, whatever data is there. So this is how we implement the refresh token. I know it's little bit so many things we have to do, but these things you will definitely need it when you start working. If you are in the interview phase, if you are learning, you don't need to do this. Just have a basic understanding, at least whatever you are able to process, correct? But when you start working, this will be the most useful task, useful video for you. Because if you got the ticket to implement refresh token functionality, so this is the right video for you. Fine. So that's it. If you're new, please do like, subscribe, and join my WhatsApp link channel. We are taking live sessions, so you get notified about those in that group. Fine. Thank you all.